additional agenda item, DMV.
DMV?
DMV. You heard me. And then under old business, we're gonna table that. And under new business, number 6, Jesse, let's go fit, Grant, table that one. Jeremy on there?
Yeah.
We'll put it up here.
Jeremy's calling.
Sorry. Okay, I got you on speakerphone here.
Mayor, could you repeat the DMV, please?
Where are we adding that to, sir?
It'll be under other matters.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hi there.
All right, we're gonna go through the department reports real quick. We'll start with Sheila.
You guys have a copy of that in front of you? Do you want to go quickly or?
Yeah, go quickly.
Okay. Water treatment facility, mayor had just signed the final thing for the signature card for that today. Disbursement number 8 has been reimbursed to us. I got invoices out and checks paid for that. Disbursement number 9, I'm just waiting for one more thing to submit that one. Geothermal, we discussed that a little bit earlier, and we'll have a little more discussion later on that. Same with smart meters, Roberta Road, you can see that improvements have been done to that. And the department, the county road department completed Roberta Road with the exception of the shoulder work. Commissioner Albertson was able to coordinate some efforts with Green Cement to sponsor the cost of the aggregate material to cover the remainder of the shoulder work. At this time, Dog Lake Construction has a source available for that aggregate material. So they'll be moving forward with that. Green Cement just asked that the council gives a community support letter for that. ODOT paint crew was able to paint the lines for us, so big thanks to Steve Anderson for that. COPS grant I was able to get in, but I'm still not able to do any of the reporting, so that's in the works. And then let's see what else. Springbrook, I have a meeting again tomorrow morning. The major holdup for that is the last 2 years of things not being reconciled and transferring the files over from Cassell to Springbrook and see how we're gonna work with that. So we have the auditor and Springbrook on a phone call tomorrow morning with Tia and I. Terminated monthly services for URA mapping, since we no longer have the URA. Audits, they were here, the auditors were here for a week working with Tia and myself, and we are still sending them things that they are requesting.
How'd that go?
Not great.
Oh, okay.
And if you would like, whenever they're done, we can give a full report on that whenever
Okay.
they finish with that. The 22, 23 Tia that they may be done with that one, January, February-ish.
That one,
That's what Ash was kind of saying.
I believe that's their goal.
Yeah.
I think they have all the information that they need. I will say, they were pleased when they got here, because
They had it already.
given the fact that they were expecting nothing, we had been able to, scrape together some source documents and things like that for them to be able to test and do the testing and things like that. So they're pleased, they're, just excited to have response, the
Cooperation.
responsiveness and things like that going forward, so.
And then other grants, geothermal, Sean and I have a call with them tomorrow at 1 to finish up some of their completed work to get that, the Oregon Department of Energy, to get that grant closed out. That's kind of the main things. You'll see there's a few other items on my list.
What's Lakeview?
LexiPool is the policies that Michelle had, bought for town policies. And there's like 64 of them. Yeah.
But it keeps us current.
It keeps us, I think
And
Jesse uses.
Jesse uses it
Jesse uses
too,
Lexi
or
Pool there.
Yeah.
if
think dispatch
any,
does that too.
any legal updates needed, it gives it to you. So it'll notify you if something changes with the law and helps you update those.
Right.
Any questions on
The daycare building is going to be,
what?
the daycare building?
That, Jeremy was going to let me know if we needed to go back through the public notice, if the school was still intending on maybe getting that, because we have not heard from the other interested party. With it being the school, we might not have to go through the process that we had previously done, so I'm waiting on Jeremy for that.
And if I may, counsel, I'll just respond to that. So I actually did send Sheila an email yesterday, I believe. Sheila, you probably just haven't had a chance to look at it. And we have confirmed that we do need to go through the public notice process,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Okay, that works. Thank you.
Okay, I apologize, I jumped the consent agendas. I don't think anybody's really noticed it. So I need a motion on the consent agendas, then we'll go back.
Yeah, please table that. Okay, right. So I would make a motion that we approve the town council minutes for August 13th, 20th, and the 27th, September 6th, and the 10th. And then Dawn and I have been talking about the 24th on question that we had in the minutes, so.
Yeah, how to word something.
Yeah, so.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion second made, those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, but now let's go on back to Department of Finance, Tia.
Sheila covered most of what I have, but to elaborate a little bit on the Springbrook holdup. The reason that we're concerned about that is, as she said, there's been no bank reconciliations done for the last 2 years. As I've gone through them, I reconciled the 22, 23. The problem being there are countless items that were in Cassell, but not in the bank statements. And so I'm having to go
And
back.
vice versa.
And vice versa, yes, thank you. And so I'm having to go back and just really kind of dig to find what the thought process behind some of the entries were, find out if they were just mis-GL'd or what have you. And so our concern is if we put the bad numbers into Springbrook, where it's a clean slate, we're still going to have the same problems in Springbrook that we're having in Cassell. And we're still gonna have to go back and do adjustments and everything else. So we're trying to find a way to make it as clean as possible with it, while we still have all the historical data. So that's
And
kind
that's
of
part
where
of the
we're at.
conversation tomorrow with the
Yeah.
auditors and Springbrook's team.
Well, if you put the wrong numbers in Cassell, Or Springbrook, is that the new one?
Yeah.
If you put the wrong numbers in, it'd still be bad.
Right, yeah, I mean, and so they're just trying to figure out, do we transfer everything so that we're not paying for two software companies right now and fix it in Springbrook, or what's the best?
Right.
Because right now we're paying for two software companies and we cannot afford that either,
Yeah.
so that needs to be rectified.
Although I will tell you, I am getting our money's worth from Cassell right now. With their customer service.
Okay. Move on down to fire, Jesse.
Well, does everybody have my report? Okay, we'll kind of skip down. A little bit slower last month than average, but a little bit of an uptick in wildland fire responses. That included a couple of responses to help out our neighbors on the Copperfield fire and up in Christmas Valley. Part of that success comes from the OSFM staffing grant that we received this year, so that's been a huge help to the community, being able to staff some guys, especially on weekends, to jump on things quickly. Other big things, the county completed its CWPP, or Community Wildfire Protection Plan. That's been signed and approved, and that'll allow us to apply for a variety of different grants, but primarily CWDG, and we're looking at options in partnership with some of the other departments and agencies in the county to work on that. The other big thing is we got started on the seismic retrofit grant process. We released an RFP for the design phase of that. That closed. We received one quote on that, and then my hope is by the next work session, or next regular session, we can present options for that moving forward and hopefully get a design firm on board and start the process of getting the station fixed up. So, other notes, fire danger is still high. I know we're in October, but fire danger is still very high out there. A number of fires around the area over the last couple weeks. And I guess long-term outlook is we're hoping for a cool down mid to late October, but right now it's still pretty high fire danger out there for people to be aware of. We have multiple prevention events planned for October. We'll be visiting in schools over the next couple weeks, doing a variety of events for Fire Prevention Month.
You bring the fire truck over to the elementary school?
Yep. So, and the preschool, and so Atlanta and Brianna have, I think, 5 stops planned over the next couple weeks at different schools and with different grades to.
Bring Mr. Farman a fire hat.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what the details of it are, but we'll be doing that over the next couple weeks. And then we do have an event coming up in conjunction with Red Cross, doing an advertising campaign, a door-to-door campaign for smoke detector installations. And then we'll try and round up a list of people that may need smoke detectors and then get the guys out doing that all in hopefully the course of a day or so. So that's all I have.
What's DEF space survey?
Where are you looking here?
DEF space survey? I don't know.
Oh, defensible space surveys. So that's part of a program through OSFM where they created a checklist we can go through and help do defensible space surveys around people's homes in the event of a wildfire, and try and give them some pointers on what things they need to do to make their house more defensible. So, it's been advertised online. It's on our town website, and OSFM advertises it too. We haven't had many takers, but we're looking at options for maybe next spring, going in and doing a more focused advertising campaign, kind of like we're doing with the Red Cross and the smoke alarm installation.
Okay.
What kind of hazardous conditions do you, we have 3 of them here.
So all 3 of those were the windstorms and power line related.
Oh, okay.
So that's how we categorize them.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
any other questions?
Thanks, Jesse.
Good, thank you.
911, Dean?
Yep. As most of you know, so my position was one of the positions that was ripped, so tomorrow is my last day. My position, so the last several weeks and month has been kind of prepping things over there and kind of trying to make sure the parts are connected for some of the possibilities that we're looking at for the future of the 911 center. Working with DPSST, that's our certification agency through the state. There's some final paperwork and stuff like that that'll have to be submitted for my position. to put certain things just to extend them out in case I go to work for another 911 center close by. So some of that will be taking place, as well as making sure, and I'll pass that information on, talk with Sheila and the others about some of that same stuff will have to happen for the other dispatchers at the end of the year as well. Also making contacts for LEDS, which is a law enforcement data system, and CJIS, the criminal justice information system. Those, my name is on a lot of those, tied in for certain things as the director, so that'll have to be transferred over to somebody, probably Ronnie, more than likely, because he's the only one that really has the certs. Nobody, like in this room, has the certs to be able to do some of that stuff, so that'll probably be something to have to happen, and I'll follow up the email with Sheila on that. She'll know what needs to be done there.
And we'll be scheduling a meeting over with 911.
Yeah. There are several contracts that'll still be continuing, some of them at least through the end of the year, but some of them may have to continue as well. So one of the things to keep in mind, and we've talked about it at some of the other meetings, is the contracts so the equipment that we have here, the radio system, stuff like that, still have to be maintained. So there's certain contracts and stuff that will still have to be maintained through that. ActTech does our IT stuff on there, kind of restart our computers like every 45 days. Some of those kind of things to make sure the systems don't crash, and those kind of systems that they'll have to still maintain. But there will probably be a few, and you'll probably just find out as they start looking and talking with Klamath County or whoever might come in as to what they have that covers it and what we would need to continue with that. So I've kind of given those agencies and stuff that we have those contracts with heads up on that, so they'll be aware to know to reach out towards the end of the year about that, as to is somebody taking that over, or is it going away. The one unfinished piece that they're still working on, it's been sitting in our bay over there for about 3 months after it sat for about a month down at Public Works, is a UPS system, or an uninterrupted power supply system, which is pretty critical to the dispatch center, both for the radios and the CAD system and that kind of stuff. So if we get a power bump or power goes out, those kind of things, this system is designed to make sure everything stays just operating and running as if we never had a power bump. We have a generator that kicks on, but that uninterrupted power supply is supposed to keep that from happening. We have 2 of them over there right now. One of them has gone bad, so when we get a power bump, everything shuts down. It takes 1 to 3 minutes to reset all the computers, and we have like 3 different systems over there. It's a bit of a pain in the butt, so it's kind of a key critical issue. The state 911 program pays for that, so we don't have any of that cost, but it's kind of been dragging on with Day Wireless dropped the ball a little bit with the rack system. We needed IT to kind of help put it together, kind of thing, and then you need an electrician to wire it in. I've got all 3 of those people talking together right now, but it's been 3-4 months of trying to get that there. So we're hoping within the next 2 to 3 weeks, by maybe the end of October, that'll be up and running, and that's a pretty critical piece. And then tomorrow, my last day, I'll spend most of the day making sure that basically all of the training and the certs and all of that stuff is up to date on the current dispatchers that we have. If you're coming down towards the end of the year, this will be something else that'll have to be kind of passed off to somebody, whether it be Klamath County or whether Ronnie or somebody is going to have to, will have to be paid to take care of those things to make sure at the end of the year, and I can kind of preempt it by some of the stuff to do, which I'll do tomorrow with making sure their trainings are up to date. And this is anything from their CPR first aid cards to compliance training and stuff. They have so much they have to do every year, otherwise they lose their certs, and that's awfully important that they keep them up. So a lot of tomorrow will be spent in doing that. And then there's like just 1 or 2 other items of final closeout kind of stuff, and I've talked with Sheila, and so she'll have an email with that too that she can bring with you guys in regards to a few things. It might be some cost saving things to the town. So that's all I got.
Thank you. Thanks, Dave.
Okay. Public Works, Sean?
You want the long version? No. You all have I'm just gonna hit on some points. Well 10, which is the new well out there, the water treatment facility. It's finished punch. It's been flow tested. It's good to go.
What does that mean, good to go? How many feet, like?
It's 400 feet, and it ran for 24 hours, a little over 400 gallons a minute, nonstop.
Ooh, okay, that's.
With about, I believe it was right around, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I want to say it's about 30 feet of drawdown.
Oh, okay.
So it's good well. We got in the mix. We are through, I believe, Water Resource Department okayed it already. We're getting a change order together to punch a well 11, which is a larger diameter well that's gonna produce more volume.
And that's the changeover
And
order
that's-
I emailed to you.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That just goes to the state of Oregon, though.
Yeah,
With-
yeah, I just gotta submit
The
that to
change order
Tom.
Yeah.
goes to the state.
Yeah,
right?
we're
Yeah.
good. Yeah, business order.
Gotcha.
So it will be Riverside performing the work again, who just did this well. With that being said, real quick, we don't have to remobilize their stuff. It's here, it's parked. So we're not paying to come in from Parma, Idaho again. And quite honestly, we got a good deal. We were, me and Sheila have talked about this, we were awarded a $100,000 grant from DEQ. The caveat to that is we don't know if it's a 100% grant or forgivable loan, or if there's a match. But it is
It
completely
sounds like there's not a match, but we just need to make sure that it's gonna be a forgivable.
100%. It is for the sewer rate study, as well as basically a sewer system study to check our whole sewer system. So we made the list of that. There was only probably 40 communities that got the money. We've got, we'll be moving the graders from OSP.
Can't mute him. He has to mute it. No, you can mute everybody.
That's not me.
Everyone's looking at you.
We'll be moving the graders from OSP, which is over there at Third by the Little League fields, to make room for, I just got this hot off the press, so I don't have a bunch of copies. The water treatment facility is really coming.
Along.
Here's our tanks. They will be shipping soon, like possibly next week. So, I just wanted you guys to see that. Basically, we've got to find a place to put them. We have an old building that's never been put together over in Public Works storage. I'm gonna build the building around the tanks for storage. Because basically, we're looking probably $1,000+ a month to store them somewhere else, when I already got 90% of the building set to be put together by Public Works. So that could possibly come next week. We're just doing other small stuff, getting some handicap spots done. You might have seen it, they were painted today. We're also, I need to find out who's in charge of the Eagles. I need to find a delivery loading time for that loading space. I don't think it needs to be loading 24 hours, 7 days a week. I'd like to get in touch with them so I can make, 9 AM to noon, something like that.
Contact Jason Alves.
And then other than that, the Kitty McDonald Park is closing tomorrow for the winter.
I mentioned restrooms will be
The
pulled.
restrooms will be pulled the Tuesday after Columbus Day.
It's not Columbus Day anymore. It's
It'll be next Tuesday.
Next week.
Indigenous people.
Person Day.
Other than that, we've talked briefly about the smart meters,
Right.
and then there's just our normal stuff. So I'm gonna go with that. Everybody's got it. When I have more time, I'll say a lot more.
And we tabled old business, to the new business, LHS homecoming parade, been signed off by the sheriff's department.
So Elise is here to talk to you about that.
Oh, good.
Yes. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Elise Hill. I am our ASB secretary and / treasurer. And every year we put on our homecoming parade, which is definitely a highlight of our homecoming week. So this parade is going to be this Thursday, the 10th at 2:30. And we would love anyone who wants to come watch us at Center and E Street, right in the crossing, where we're going to do a fight song competition.
So 2:30 leaves the high school?
So it will leave the high school at 2:30.
Okay.
Correct.
We can get an account with this. Okay.
Okay, and then I'm also on the National Honor Society, and we are going to do a blood drive. So we're about 1/3 of the way full of volunteers to help us reach our full goal, which is 96 donations. And so if anyone can, please help us and donate some blood. We are 1/3 of the way, so we've got 2/3 left.
What are the dates?
It will take place at the Daily Middle School, October 21st and 22nd.
Miss Hill, is a football team gonna run through the hallways and stuff?
No, we only do that when we go to state.
Oh,
So if any of the sports teams go to state, then we do a full run through where they load on the buses.
okay. Thank
For
you.
homecoming week, you should maybe think about it.
Yeah, homecoming.
I would be happy to look into that and see if we could do that maybe during school on Thursday.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
talk to Melissa about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be nice.
Thank
For
you for
little
the
kids,
idea.
like it. It's for the little kids.
Oh, Susan, I think she'd like it.
For the pretty.
And ODOT was held up because their manager was out of town. So I got the email stating there he's gonna sign it. It's sitting on his desk. He said he will not hold this parade up, that he will get it off his desk and I'll have it by tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So I will send everybody an email of the signed copy.
Okay. I would make a motion that we approve the parade route. Don't we have to do that?
Do I have a second? Okay, motion made and second, those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you all.
You're all set.
I need my,
Blood draw.
Okay,
my blood draw back, please, and thank you. Thanks,
let's
darling.
move on down to 911 dispatch.
Jeremy, are you still on the call there?
You still there? Okay,
Am I on?
you're on.
Honorary Council, so before you is a decision, a very difficult decision as to how you intend to proceed with 911 dispatch. We are all aware of the financial situation at this point in time, based upon the information that you have received and other considerations. It is time for you all to make a decision as to whether to continue to operate 911 dispatch, notwithstanding those financial limitations or constraints, or to move forward with terminating any further provision of dispatch services and closing the doors on 911 dispatch.
Okay, so we need a motion on this?
I'm happy to read a motion into the record, Mayor, if I may.
Go ahead.
All right, the following motion is proposed. A motion to close and cease providing dispatch services and all 911, I'm sorry, let me restate that. A motion to cease providing dispatch services and close 911 dispatch effective December 31st, 2024, and direct and authorize the mayor, city manager, and city attorney to take all actions and complete and sign all documents necessary to timely effectuate the termination of dispatch services and closure of 911 dispatch.
Okay,
I will regretfully make that motion.
motion is made, do I have a second? Jay seconds. Those in favor?
I,
Those opposed? Aye. I want it noted that I am opposing this.
Okay, we have a tie.
what'd you say?
Okay,
Jeremy, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Legally, there won't be any repercussions. Could there be repercussions like from Christmas Valley or wherever? Could they do something to the town, sue the town or anything, or do something weird?
he's sitting back here.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
certainly folks could allege or take the position that 911 should continue, and certainly when it comes to the agreement This is in anticipation of receiving full cooperation from the county, the fire districts, and Paisley as it relates to the termination. So could we run into a snag or an issue here and there? Absolutely. Do they have a claim? I am not aware of any viable or potential claim that any party has at this point in time.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
Hold on, Jeremy, what do we do when we have 2 for and 2 opposed?
Well, the motion doesn't carry if there's 2 in opposition.
So we need to,
We'll have to, wait, who voted for and who voted for against? Dawn?
so Tracy made the motion, Farman seconded, Mayor no, and Wishart no.
Okay, well, at this point in time, then, the motion does not pass. And we'll have to revisit the decision at the next council meeting.
okay.
Okay.
Let's move on down to geothermal
Thanks for
contract.
coming in, guys.
Can we ask questions?
Okay, Jeremy, we're on the geothermal contract.
Alright, so you all have had an opportunity to at least briefly review the contracts. For sure you're aware or familiar with the contracts and the intents as far as the geothermal work, or well work if you will. So what I'd like to do is go ahead and again propose a motion. If I may, Mayor, I'll go ahead and read it into the record.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so a motion to approve the contracts between the town and Anderson, Klamath Pump Center and Tom Search, subject to final legal revisions and city manager approval, and providing the mayor authority to sign the finalized contracts.
I'll
And
make
just
that,
to clarify, that motion was in reference to Anderson Engineering and not Anderson Perry.
I will make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Andrew, second. Those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Jay, did you vote?
Yes, I'm fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, fine.
all right, let's move on down to the sustainable change order.
Council, I'm going to go ahead and hang up. I do not believe you need anything further this evening.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thanks,
Take
Jeremy.
care, everyone. Bye.
All right, the change order for, that's for the well. Find mine, I just had it.
There it is, right here.
So I need a motion on the change order number 3 for, this is on
Smart
the
meters.
smart meters.
Yes.
Yeah,
From 5,000 to 7,000.
No, would be, the total increase would be 600K, which is costing for the scope of additional 5,700 additionally every month, which is a total of over 40,000 a month that we're paying for this.
I guess I'm not tracking.
So the additional amount that you would be approving in this change order costs us an additional 5,700 a month. And the total is 600K throughout the whole time frame of this contract.
So is that a couple of years, is that what that is, or what?
I see.
Don't we get like some money back from all that?
That's from supplies and
Yeah.
materials, which,
Like 400,000
Eventually.
yeah.
eventually?
Like I just invoiced and they just paid us 40,000, I'll invoice another 20 for the month of September. So that helps alleviate what materials and supplies we've already came out of the town's budget. But this is for the actual contract that is over like span of 20-year time.
So to the best of your knowledge, it's a good thing to do.
I mean,
It's
I
the only
was,
thing to do.
I
That's the
didn't, I
only
think it's
thing
the
to
only
do, quite
option at this
honestly.
point. Like,
Okay.
I am not in agreement in the whole smart meter situation myself, but that's beyond this point in time.
They should have been set up differently from the get-go.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking.
But if you want to continue to finish the work with it, this is what we have upon us.
Well, don't you think we have to finish the smart
I think
meters?
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
would think
I
so.
think so.
there, do you make a motion?
I don't know what to say in a motion. That we accept I'd like to.
Approve the change order.
Accept the
And it's change order
the
number
change
3
order,
Number 3.
number 3,
from Sustainability Partners.
yeah.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Okay. We tabled number 6, appearance of interested citizens. Members of the public desiring to address the board shall first be recognized by the presiding officer, then state their name and address for the record. Unless otherwise designated by the presiding officer, each person shall have up to 3 minutes. We didn't have that down to other matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 minutes to present comments. The board of directors and staff normally will not directly respond to the public comment during public comment. Board and staff members will be held until board comment period. Do we have anybody? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Jim Strong, Lake County. My understanding of the vote regarding the 911, was the town attorney still on the phone?
No.
Okay, you might want to get him back. My understanding of the vote was a 2-2, and the 5th member wasn't here to
Charlie.
take care of that.
Mike.
Okay, it's come to my belief that 2 of the members who voted here today have relatives currently employed at the dispatch center. Is that correct?
Yep. I have a nephew that works there.
Okay, anybody else?
I do.
Conflict?
Do you care to say the relationship? I mean,
Doesn't matter.
well, it might.
It's my daughter.
Okay, so Oregon ethics laws stipulate that in a case just described like this, family members, whether under the household, same household or under their own, that the affected governing body members, you two, must self-declare at the very least at this meeting and prior to even discussion taking place during the work session of at least a possible and or actual conflict of interest. You fail to do so, and that renders, although it was a 2-2 tie, that renders any action, i.e. the motion, second, the vote, invalid. It also opens up the board and the 2 members to ethics complaints. Now granted, the Ethics Commission has a time lag of about 6 to 7 months, so it won't immediately affect anybody here, like today or tomorrow. But for the record, yeah, that vote was improper. The discussion by those 2 members, without the self-declaration prior to any discussion, both in the work session earlier, as well as this board, is improper, and on its face, seems to be in violation of the state ethics laws. So I want to get that on record again. Jim Strong, Christmas Valley.
I got it.
Anybody else? Yeah.
My name is Cheryl Bannister. Hello. And I grew up here in Lakeview, and all my family is from around here. But I've been gone for a long time and moved back a year ago. But one thing I find that's really almost impossible is I just saw that something about this happening like 2 weeks ago. Nobody else had heard of it either. I know a lot of people here. Nobody had heard anything about the emergency 911 thing. So it seems awfully fast that it's now in a vote before anybody has a chance to even know what's going on what are the costs, what is it about, how come, what's it gonna cost without doing it and doing it a different way. It's kind of, it seems like, I hate to say this, but it's not being above board because people don't know. And I think that puts a lot of skepticism into people that don't trust what's
Well,
going on.
we've made an effort to be transparent, and we have brought this up for a long time.
Among
Years.
yourselves or
No,
in public?
with public meetings. With
There was
public
actually
meetings.
meetings last summer with the sheriff's department,
Yeah,
that I think they were work sessions, if I'm correct. They were
Okay,
open
well,
work sessions.
That's great, except for people that don't come to the meetings, except when something's important, you don't need to.
I understand, but I
Out there
can't, I can't make.
and the
you-
world
I can't-
anymore is on
I can't
the
make
internet.
him read the paper or look to see what's going on in town.
Yeah,
All we can do is our best to get it out there.
yeah.
And it's been out there for a while. And it sounds like, talking to, from Mr. Sims, this thing's gone on for years.
Well, I've been gone for a long time, so I wouldn't know
Welcome
about
back.
that. I'm back, and a lot of my friends are back. We're kind of moving back here because we like the world better here. But I just, and that is not a joke even at all, it's true. So I was just thinking that maybe there'd be a way to get more stuff out into social media or something, because that's where people really see things.
we
Sad but
have,
true.
we have a site, we have our
Yeah.
town site, and I think it's been
And
on the
our
town.
website's been down for a
Oh,
little bit, but
there
I,
it
Been down for a week, I think.
Yeah.
It's trying to get on it.
yeah,
The
it did
website,
it
the
did an
Facebook
automatic
page is
update
still
and
up.
it went down. So I've been trying to fix that amongst these
Yeah.
several
Okay,
emergencies
I just
because I'm
wanted
also
to know, because
that person.
I like to know what's going on, and I would like
Yeah.
to get more
But
involved.
we do post the work session stuff on our Facebook page as well. I don't know if you followed that, I could give you the link to
Well,
that
I
as
tried
well,
to get on it today, and it wouldn't invite me, so I
It's a
finally,
public, yeah, it's a public page.
well, it says you
Facebook.
had to get,
I think you had a link there that might have been for like a Zoom or.
Oh, it was for this Teams.
I don't
Did you
know,
click the
I'm
link?
electronically
Okay.
talented. I'm older than,
Yeah,
so whatever
My
I don't
computer just
know
went
is not
down.
my fault.
yeah.
And you made mention of the ways that you let the public know. You've been lacking for 4 years in doing so in regards to local media. So you might at least continue what I saw this last meeting.
Yeah.
Well, and I have people I know
You
that at the
mentioned-
hospital that don't know about it.
You mentioned no forms of media,
Yeah.
so you might open up.
I know your media. I use it every day, that's my
That's
media. I don't get the paper.
But if we
I go on
had the
Facebook.
notices on, perhaps people would have known. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I'll have to get your contact information from Dawn.
And that's something that
I don't have this phone.
of us here
I needed that.
in this chair, and I believe up here, even though some are gonna be gone, I believe that that's the route we wanna get to. You know, I was interim town manager for 8 months, 7 months. My door was always open. Maybe it shouldn't have been all the time, but it was always open, no matter what, unless I had a meeting, and then I'd say, come back.
All you have to do is punch the button to the local media.
So, that's the policy I think that Sheila is gonna carry forward being the new town manager.
Glad to hear it.
I think it's a two-way street also that the media can be contacting us too.
I tried, but
I
I got a
appreciate
letter
Vicky
from
coming, I appreciate Vicky
Yeah.
coming and
I got a letter from the
videotaping
manager.
and stuff,
Some
so-
things from
in
the
regards
past
to, we
is-
weren't desired anymore, so.
Well, but.
But
we
the
have
past
a
is the
manager.
past,
We have a new
so.
manager and that was in the past, but you still are welcome because it's public meetings. Yep.
Why would they?
Got on plugged in the wall.
I have a letter
It was
from
unplugged
the
at the wall.
Amanda O'Brien from Lake County. And I made most of my opinions and concerns clear during the work session. A couple things that, from the work session that I heard that I want to add into, because again, we all know the budget is a major concern. And you guys shouldn't have to carry that, load alone. But there's a real concern, as Ms. Bannister brought up, this has been going on for over 10 years. But all of a sudden now, last week, on Lakeview announcements, I saw a post, and that was the very first I ever heard about it. And, but this has been going on for 10 years. At the work session today, he said, you know, we don't have time to do an election and put together a special tax district. But if you knew 10 years ago, if you knew, you could have started working on this 2 years ago, and we wouldn't be at the, all of a sudden, we don't know if we're gonna be able to keep the doors open point of doing it.
Quite frankly, when I asked the town manager how much money we have, and they say $2 million, would you believe him? I did, because they're employed. Well, it turns out that wasn't the case.
That was not true.
So we went through that process of
But,
trying to
but
find
it's
it.
because of that, you know, that the community as a whole isn't happy about it. Again, I understand the budgetary issues, but we need to try and find a way. My concern also from the work session that I brought up, my concern of, you know, the dispatchers not knowing local vernacular or geographic locations. And the, Officer Hill said, well, with the GPS we can, but sometimes they still don't know. And so they'll send somebody out to mile marker, whatever, on 395, but then also somebody else out to Fisk Hill. And the problem with that is we don't have a lot of law enforcement personnel. And if you're sending 2 people out, maybe the person who's going out to Fisk Hill is already on another case. And again, then you're getting to the point of, you know, what I brought up with what my husband had to do with, instead of trying to save a life, he had to wait for a coroner because the dispatcher didn't know what the local geography was.
I will respond to that. You know, for 15 years I was on the ambulance crew, okay? There were times when dispatch sent us to the wrong place, here locally, dispatch. It can happen anywhere, unfortunately. And so I think, I understand your concerns regarding that, but, you know, how many people know the different, like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
A house, okay, oh, it's over at Mr. Harris's house, you know, and the old timers will know where that's at.
Right.
But the new dispatchers aren't gonna know where that's at, you know, and so that happens, unfortunately.
Right.
But with the new mapping system, your cell phone, they know where you're at.
Yeah, and then again, the other concern is the loss of jobs and
Well,
trying to keep that, but,
And like I said,
yeah.
it's the loss of jobs, or is it the town going bankrupt? Is where we're at, unfortunately.
And that's the unfortunate part, because if the town goes bankrupt, all the jobs are gone. I mean, you're not gonna have sewer people, water people, nothing. And so, I mean, it's not who's right and who's wrong, but it's a matter if we might have a viable option to keep the dispatch service going. It might not be here, at least we have a viable option. I think they have a commitment to the community. We're still gonna try to get this water here. We're still gonna try to get the sewer here. We're still gonna get people here. You know, it's a hard thing. I mean, where I was from, it was basically, I was working in the construction field when the market crashed. Talk about one or two families. No, I saw subdivisions lose their jobs. And now, come down here trying to make a difference. And what we find out, what personally me and Sheila found out, since this all's transpired, is things have gone south for a long time.
Right.
And there's been talks with the county. There's been talks with other agencies. What can we do to work it? And quite honestly, financially, none of us is in a position to take it on wholeheartedly. I mean, I believe the county had to lay off multiple people or find a place to absorb some of them. So that hurts them too. I mean, and all these people up here right now, and I, myself, and everybody that I've talked to, I get it, we feel it. And quite honestly, it hurts me, honestly, it hurts me. I'm the one that's handing the layoff papers out. That was my job as intertown manager. So, when I hear different things, I try to figure out the best way to do it. And unfortunately, it might not seem like the best way to do it, but we have an avenue to possibly get us there to keep our services going. So police respond, fire responds, EMS responds, and the town don't completely go under. And that's the way that everybody's looked at it. It concerns me too, because I work for the town. I live in the county. Nobody knows where I live by my name. They know it as such and such's house. And I get it. So that kind of concerns me too.
Right.
But I have to look at the big picture here. And I gotta look at the entire town population as well as the county population. And we have to make a decision and justify it and be honest about it. And this is where we're at. And I
Full
just,
transparency too, like with the budget stuff, there's no more in reserves. There's just not. So like I said, every day, TA gets claims from, you know, the different departments. I look them over and I'm having to make choices of what I'm paying and what I'm not. And I'm having to look every day at the bank and saying, this is coming in, and I have to hold this amount right now for payroll, or we're not making payroll. If we can't make payroll, we're also subject to fines every day for those payrolls to not, for them not to be paid. So I don't.
and it doesn't matter how we got here.
Our backs are against
We're
the
here.
wall with what we've been given.
We gotta figure out how to fix it. Go ahead.
I disagree with you on that one. It doesn't matter how you got here, because if you don't know and you don't do anything about it, it's gonna happen again.
Okay, well,
So,
we're getting there. That's
yeah.
what we've done, is we found these. That's why there's finance person here.
Okay,
That's why we
right.
got council members that actually, they get the proper audit papers.
Well, I know some of these people, and I know them, I know they're fine. There's not a problem. I
But
don't-
that part of it, yeah, we do.
I'm
We-
just like really curious as to what is the consequences for all these past mistakes that have cost so much money.
Well, I don't think it's even past mistakes. I think it's like, if you give the police department 7% raises forever, and you give 911 dispatch, like I make $200 a day when I substitute teach. If you give people way more than that for working, then you're getting trouble. And that's what's happened here, is people have been overpaid, okay? So we've backed some of that off, and we've tried to do the right thing. If I look at Facebook, I have overseas accounts with money in it. And my wife asked me where they were the other day, and I said, I don't know. She said, yeah, I don't know where my overseas accounts are. But, I think there's a whole lot of things that have snowballed in this city, not unlike other small cities.
Right.
Okay? We're not the only city that this has happened to. So,
It's true.
Well, I think the whole country's in that problem right now.
exactly, one of the Medford schools had to borrow $1 million last year to meet payroll. So, it's just the way it is. But I'm not condoning it by any means. And I'm not saying if we would have known this was gonna happen, I guess, a year ago, we might have been able to do something about it, probably, but.
Tom Batty, Lakeview resident and business owner, and I just want to say thank you for starting the meeting at 5:30 instead of 5 o'clock. That makes it
So you
so
get
much
here.
easier for me to get here, and I'm sure there's lots of other people would have the same feeling, so thank you for the change. But I hope it continues.
Well, just thank you for doing the job, because not a lot of people want to, so appreciate that too.
I don't want to,
He says, not anymore.
not anymore.
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I'll say something. Barry Schulenberg, Lake County Commissioner. I think the 2-2 vote today was pretty interesting, and coming to find out what Mr. Strong asked is pretty interesting as well.
Real interesting.
The thing that I encourage you to think about is the backup plans will start to go away too.
Good point.
And, Klamath County is interested, but they're not gonna play games. And they're not going to come bail us out at the 11th hour. The county is not in a position to take over 911. We have $60,000 left in our contingency fund. We're in tough shape too. We've made 7 cuts, and we've cut every bit of our material and supplies. We're down to bare bones. I think that you guys should consider this discussion very soon in the near future. And I encourage all your board members to be here.
If I could address that comment to Mr. Schellenberger. Being new to the council, maybe I've been to 3 meetings, I clearly don't feel I had enough information on the finances or that everything had been looked at. So that was my reluctance to approve it, because has every bit stone been turned over? I haven't been at all the talks that you have been at for years apparently, but I wanted to know that Lake County wasn't losing 911, that they weren't losing jobs, that we weren't, because the county, the community appears to be shrinking, and this just felt like it was one more thing that was a huge loss to our whole county. So I hope to, feel more confident going forward that everything has been done and that's just how it has to go. But I wasn't there today.
Well, I'll just say the ship hasn't sailed, but it will sail.
Yeah.
One more comment, if I'm allowed.
Go ahead.
I suggest, well, first of all, I'm a little stunned that all 5 council members aren't present today. Wait, you don't have to answer me, because I don't expect any, I don't expect any of you 4 who showed up to have to justify the behavior of a 5th council person. So if I could just be allowed to finish my point. I'm stunned that all 5 council members didn't show up today. I'm also stunned in this venue of technology that if anyone couldn't have showed up for today, which clearly to the community in and out of the town site, also the county, that any council member who didn't show up couldn't have accommodated attendance via remote, whatever, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, I don't know. Because that would have counted in the attendance and towards a quorum if a vote needed to reach that point. So I'm not a town resident. This is me just saying, as a county resident, I'm stunned. And I would have been on the backs of Commissioner Schulenberg and the other 2 if they had exhibited that behavior. And only 3 of them are on the Board of Commissioners. So consider that, do with it what you want, indifferent to me. I strongly suggest that one or more of you, or maybe Sheila?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay. Google search Oregon ethics laws, conflict of interest. One of the first results you're going to get are from the Oregon Ethics Commission. It's going to be the government handbook. It has everything you need to know, including issues of possible or actual conflict. I anticipate, because it's what I would do if I was on the circumstance of this town council, that when this meeting's over, somebody get on the phone with your town council.
Our town council, or town attorney?
Well, I call them council of record, town council, town attorney, no, you're right.
I already contacted the attorney.
Okay. So that needs to be remedied sooner rather than later, and probably before you conduct another either special session, regular session, or work session. Because he, who of course is an attorney, he may agree with what I just recited out of the Ethics Commission handbook. He might have some direction for you, and I can't speak for your attorney obviously, but he might have some direction for you on how to conduct meetings and future discussions regarding dispatch, since 2 of you have familial relationship with two of the employees. So I would really emphasize that take place. Go ahead.
If I may, I'm probably to blame for that. I should have said
I'm
something.
not looking to place blame.
No, please let me finish.
Okay.
I let you finish,
Yeah,
please let me.
well, I'm in the public and you're on
So-
the staff, but go ahead.
With that being said, what I should have done is stood up and said, we need to table the 911, which it would have got pushed back anyways with that council being here. I didn't think about it.
Right.
With everything going on and all the stress, I know it's no excuse, but these meetings are very stressful for us too, because we dread coming to them
Oh, I
because
believe
people
it.
are so angry with us.
Agreed.
And I get it at the front desk, everybody else has gotten it, and it's super frustrating, so, and I should have noticed it as well, because I did know this, but I didn't come forward, I didn't even think twice about it, I didn't even think about it, to be quite frank.
Right, but my purpose in stating it, I'm gonna interrupt you because
No.
I understand where you're going. My purpose in stating what I believe is an actual conflict, is just to make you guys aware of it, period,
No,
not to
you're right.
assess blame.
I just didn't even
This
think
happens,
twice
this
about
doesn't
it.
just happen at Lakeview Town Council
No, no.
meetings, this happens at water district tax, all over the state, believe me.
No, I understand,
So,
I just wanted to make.
I don't want you to
my
feel
fault
like
there,
that,
too.
okay?
I voted, wasn't because of my nephew. I started dispatching upstairs here when this was the fire department.
Right.
Then I moved over there and dispatched. I was on the fire department for over 30 years. I was on the disaster unit for 16 years. I was a reserve cop here for 23 years. That building has a lot to me, my heart.
Sure.
And when I dispatched over there, I enjoyed it.
Sure.
I helped a lot of people, and I just feel that that dispatch there is part of Lakeview and should stay in Lakeview.
And I understand.
And I didn't do it
Sorry.
because of my nephew worked over there.
I understand that sentiment. With all due respect, all your years of public service, and I've seen you in meetings with dispatch users and fire district boards and all that for the last 5-6 years. With all due respect to your past service, your dedication serving on this council, everything you just said is irrelevant to what the ethics laws state. Reason is not really taken into account into actual or possible conflicts of interest, unfortunately. So I appreciate what you said. I'll still continue to appreciate you as an individual and a past, public servant. I've got 26 years on the job in California that I'm retired from myself, so we have a kindred spirit. But don't let yourself get in any kind of a spot against the wall over a really easily knowledgeable and actionable conflict issue. Don't. Thank you very much again for 2 opportunities, I appreciate it.
Okay, does anybody else have anything? All right. Go ahead, Jay.
I guess we have different hours I talked to Sean briefly on the way in, we have different hours.
Council voted on those.
You did.
I missed it. I was here.
You were here, yeah. There was a spreadsheet, everything passed around,
Thank
everybody
you.
passed that.
Thank you.
And for those that don't know, I'm sorry that the hours got changed. I will put that one on me because there's other duties that have to get done downstairs. And I'm not Superwoman. I'm sorry, I am absolutely not. I am not perfect by any means. I do the best I can with what I have to work with. And Sheila and everybody else is doing what they can too to help me with what little they can do downstairs when they're trying to fix things that happened beforehand. So we kind of had to switch the hours. It may not even be forever, it just might be for a little while, so I can get my feet where they need to be to get a whole system going. So I hope that people will be a little more understanding, because the yelling and screaming and cussing at me through the door is just not working.
That's unacceptable.
It is. So we deal with a lot.
Okay. Let's move on down. Lakeview grants, Department of Justice grant, report to the Oregon Department of Energy in progress. Small city allotment, Roberta Road, that project is done, and it's nice. I drove over. Just make sure. Didn't have this.
Silly.
Water treatment facility still in progress. Okay, let's move down to other matters. Dawn, I'll give you this paper and you can post it out there. This is from the Department of Transportation. New service hours for the Lakeview DMV office will be Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. with daily midday closure from 12:30 to 2. So DMV has changed their hours.
Okay,
So I just wanted to get this information out.
Will that be posted somewhere?
I'll post it on the front door.
Good job, Ray.
And then maybe I'll just make some copies and stick them at the front desk or something.
Or I could put it in the paper if I had a copy.
I
Under
can send
other
you a
matters,
copy.
we have Pacific Electrical Contract. Have a contract here for putting in fiber optic lines. That must be for the
South Geo.
South Geo. So-
Yeah, that's just part of those 3 agreements. That was for what Daryl Anderson presented. We don't need to do anything at this time. with that.
Okay, just that information.
Yes, just informational.
Okay. Upcoming meetings, Town Council, Tuesday, October 23rd at 5.
22nd,
What's that?
22nd.
Oh, I thought it was, okay, sorry, 22nd. Then Tuesday, November 12th at 5.
So
What is
Do we
happening?
want to move those to 5:30?
I think we should.
we can move them to 5:30. We'll have to, do you want to make a motion to move our council meetings to 5:30? Like do it as an add-on and make a motion? We've made motions to change the time in the past. This way it's on record.
I would make a motion that we change our upcoming meeting times to 5:30 in the afternoon.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it. Yes. What's it
Those
called?
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There you go.
5:30 to.
Okay, so before everybody leaves, Sheila, do you guys want to try and do a special session on Friday to get the 911 thing done, or do you want to wait until after?
Well, I think we need
I
to
think
talk
I'd
to
like to
Jeremy.
talk to Jeremy.
I think we
I'm
need to
sorry,
talk to
Fergie.
Jeremy.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to get this straightened out.
Yeah.
I think a discussion with Jeremy.
All right,
Yeah,
staff
I
have
would say
any
we
other,
have to talk to Jeremy.
have any other comments? Council, do you have any comments?
I would like to bring up that, not tonight, but we need to look at the alleys. Because a lot of people are blocking the alleys and the access. And we really need to figure out
I need
how
to
we're going
find
to
the-
handle
I
that.
need to find the ordinance about them.
Right, and get
Well,
that out there.
the other thing, there's an ordinance of backing in. You can back in to unload, then you need to turn and circle around.
Yeah.
But I see people backed in all over town, and there is an ordinance on that, because I used to write tickets.
I had no idea.
Well, we need to even see if it's still relevant. I don't even know if it's still active or if it got vetoed. I will look into that.
Okay. Anything else? Hearing none, we will adjourn the meeting at 6:40.